You guys, we're one step closer to securing a top 4 finish. We're one step closer to getting Champions League football. I believe it's going to happen. This was a massive result today. Incredible result today. And there are so many interesting talking points from today. But I think what I want to start off with immediately is talking about Eden Hazard. Now, even though I'm very happy, I'm still slightly sad that this might be the last time that I see Hazard playing in the Premier League. I was slightly disappointed that he never scored a goal. He never got the opportunity to get that final Premier League goal. But then I stopped for a second and then I started to laugh a bit because this beautifully summed up Eden Hazard. His 2 assists, the important crosses we needed to break down a very stubborn Watford team, was crucial in getting us those opportunities to score, which we did, but it just summed up everything we've loved and cherished about the player. He's not scoring those goals, getting the limelight he deserves as a player, but that's never been Eden Hazard. Hazard plays football for the love of the game, and he'll do anything he can to help us get those 3 points. I thought the moment was quite symbolic for the first goal actually. For me, it was kind of like a passing of the torch moment. Now a lot of us are wondering, who the hell is going to replace Eden Hazard for next season? Are we going to spend big? But we actually already have Hazard's replacement. He costs us nothing, he's free. And we produced him from our academy. His name is Ruben Loftus-Cheek. His introduction helped transform how we played. He got the decisive first goal. And one thing that Ruben's shown over these past few weeks is that he's ready to take on that mantle as Hazard's replacement and make a name for himself in his own right. Now, I know that a lot of people think I'm a fanboy and I overhype him, but honestly, it's one of the proudest moments for me as a Chelsea fan, watching an academy boy step up, stealing the limelight, and being just as effective as one of the best players in our history. I think you guys, our future's safe. But before I get into the rest of today's match review, smash that like button, help me get more than 1,000 likes for today's video. Don't forget to press the bell notification button either to stay tuned to all things Blue Lions TV. And don't forget the cards above will have suggested and recommended videos that I think you guys might like. When you're done with this video, don't forget to see what else that I'm producing for you guys. Of course, we need to talk about the first half, and it wasn't the best performance. Now for me, and I'll give you my take, I look at the context of the season, I try to understand how football actually is, and it gets me thinking, when does any team play beautiful football from the first minute to the 90th minute in 60 games every season? That doesn't happen. This is all about grinding. We're in grind mode right now. Watford gave us a lot of pressure, and we've seen that we really struggle against physical sides, teams that use a man-marking or ball-orientated pressing system. We don't have the guys that can hold it off. Things got even worse for us because Kante was then taken off with a hamstring, and it's not what you want to see against opposition like Watford. We lost his ability to win the second ball. We lost his pressing ability. We lost that defensive solidity as well. And credit to Watford, they play with confidence. They try to get at us. They use a similar tactic that so many teams have been using, creating those overloads out wide, early crossing opportunities, trying to push men inside the box to win that aerial ball. And I think that the first half could have gone very differently if it wasn't for one man and one extremely decisive moment. Now, yeah, it did come pretty early, but when you consider the context of our season personally, there's normally been so many turning moments that have really affected the outcomes of games. But today, it was only a positive one and not a negative one, thanks to Kepa's world-class save. And for me, this is why we spent the money on the player, because of his acrobatic ability, his speed as well, his handling as well. The guy's a great goalkeeper that's going to get better. It's his first season in the Prem, barely had any bad moments compared to other keepers that have initially struggled adapting to the league. Now, I did tell you guys back then when we signed him, he played for Bilbao, a very physical team in Spain, so he was already used to the physical style of football. But he produced a top moment which kept us in the game. If Watford had scored from there, who knows what the outcome of this game was going to be. The guys' desire and determination to make sure that they win this game succeeded. We had to ride it out in the first half. In the final 15 minutes, we were able to get on the ball, of course. Whenever we start playing the ball more to Ruben, that's when things start to happen. And for me personally, I thought we ended the first half decently compared to how we started it, and I felt confident going into the second half. Now, of course, during half time, the typical boos came out. I feel that a lot of people's anger and frustration is a bit misguided. I don't think it has anything to do with Sarri. I don't think it's fair at this moment in time. One regular critique that Sarri gets a lot is that he isn't adaptable, but I think that's a bit false. And I think today's game proves that. And it's going to be quite unpopular, but when you think about it, tactically it makes sense. And that's Marcos Alonso's inclusion. Now today, Marcos Alonso was good. It seemed like he had clear tactical instructions to not push forward as much every single time. What really helps us, and why we could afford to take the risk, is that Watford don't have any fast, pacey guys out wide. They use 4 midfield players. They don't have that pace, so Alonso didn't have to worry about any runs in behind him today. So that could be a tactical error from Watford's part. But most importantly, it's Alonso's physicality. We know Watford are a strong team, stronger than us. We need that physicality. We're in grind modes. We're trying to fight our way to get a top 4 finish. And it's changes like that. It's Sarri adapting to his opponents and the strength of them, making the right tactical decision that really helped us stay in the game. And in the end, he was fully vindicated for his decision. Now, I know some people won't accept that, but most times from comments I've read and things I've seen, they don't tend to consider the full picture before they give their opinion. But for me, it just shows that Sarri is adapting. He's adapted to the strengths of our opponents. I thought they were things that a lot of people argued that Sarri doesn't do. But today proved it. Now, I have to take a small L myself. I was panicking a bit after that first half. We've drawn 3 games consecutively in the league. I was worried that, are we going to lose this, or is it going to be another draw as well? I was saying things like Giroud should be coming on in the second half. I still believe that even if that tactical decision was made, I think it would have paid off for us. But this is why I like Sarri. This is why he's a top-class manager, a fantastic tactician. And this is why the team have slowly got out from that rut during the midway point of the season where they struggled adapting, and they look a lot more confident playing a style of football. And that's because Sarri instills them with confidence. It's that patience. That's what the players respond to. If you see that your manager's constantly changing tactics week in, week out, Solskjaer at Manchester United, how do you then trust the manager? How do you then follow his instructions? How do you then believe in what he's trying to do? You can't. And Sarri, because he's done this before, he's faced the same adversity. This isn't anything new. He knows that with patience and with time, his methods are going to work. And you guys, I believe that's going to be the exact thing that's going to happen for next season. And I think this falls in nicely with someone who's become unfairly critiqued again, similar to another Sarri player, that is Gonzalo Higuain. And I want to ask you guys this, and hopefully in the comment section you guys will educate me or give me your takes or your thoughts and opinions, but I see this phrase being thrown around just recklessly, and it's mobility. And Higuain has a lack of it. He's got a major lack of mobility, but I'm trying to understand, what does mobility mean? Now, when people say that, my take is that they're thinking about players making 50, 60 yard runs into space and, doing the most and just showing crazy application. But you know that Higuain's a poacher. And sometimes you guys, it really just shows me the people who played Football Manager when they were young and the people who didn't. It seems like every player is exactly the same. No one understands that football's become a lot more specialised now. Players are tailor-made to play in specific roles. And Higuain's a poacher. He doesn't have to make 50-yard runs. His whole game's about being able to play against these deep block teams, and his goal typified that. Intelligent run, running behind, and if it wasn't for that run, that goal's not being made. And this is why he's a world-class poacher, because these guys create the goals for them due to starting the run. And all Higuain needs is experience. He needs to adapt more time with his teammates. When you play with this style of forward, it takes time for the team to adapt because, with a poacher, they're not the type of player that you can rely upon to be involved in the build-up play or to help out with that. That's not what they're there for. They're there to focus on their runs and obviously find openings, and the teammates are supposed to have the responsibility of feeding him with these passes. Now, we've seen with Higuain already, every goal he's scored has been a first-time finish. Every goal he scored has been beautiful as well. I mean, no striker in this squad now, the squad we've had this season, over the past few years, even Diego Costa, isn't scoring a beautiful effort like that. Only Higuain can, and that's his game. I mean, how many times have I seen strikers needing to take another touch to set their body up to take a shot? But Higuain doesn't have to do that because he's masterful at what he does, and I think more respect needs to be put on his name because too many people have opinions where they're just wrong. I'm sorry, there isn't any nuance. Higuain's a poacher. He's not a Lukaku or a Rashford that's going to make these long gun-busting runs out wide and looking dynamic and, you know, showing bad application with no end product or no quality. All the guy needs is time and patience. And we'll see more of this, and this is why I personally feel if we keep him, he'll be a fantastic addition to the squad for next season. Just to wrap things up, of course, Gary Cahill, I mean, for me, it just proves why Sarri is such a nice guy. You know, he's not the type of typical old school manager that believes in all these, like, you know, boring, you know, hyper masculine approaches to football. It doesn't have to be like that. You can relate to the players more, and it's shown that with Sarri's methods, he creates these deeper bonds with his players and the squad, and this is why he's so highly thought of back in Italy and with his previous teams. And it's just in his nature to be the bigger man and give Gary Cahill that send-off before he potentially leaves at the end of the season. And most managers won't give him that opportunity after doing that interview that Cahill did earlier today. But that sums up Sarri. It's about the long-term approach. It's about being as efficient as possible. It's about what's best for everyone other than satisfying his ego. And that's one thing I love about Sarri. He puts his ego to the side for the greater good and for the greater cause. And some more respect has to be put on our manager's name. Too often, players that are seen to be his pets are unfairly criticised. Too often, Sarri's unfairly criticised, is looked at with extremely cynical eyes. And I think people are looking at it from such a one-sided point of view that you're missing the overall picture. You're missing the realities of football. I mean, for God's sake, I had someone tweet to me that, oh, what do you mean Sarri's doing anything? We score from 2 set pieces. As if we're not praising that under previous managers like Conte, Mourinho, etc., etc. I mean, it's ridiculous at this time. But if anything, it looks like we're close to achieving top 4 football. We've got Frankfurt this Thursday, and please, I'm hoping the fans support the team, support them, have patience. Stop this attitude, this negative attitude towards the manager because it's unfounded. There's not enough facts to back it up. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed the match review. Important win today, you guys. Important win. I'm going to have some more videos out for you later this week. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lions TV. I'll see you guys later.